Hello, it's Charles with Uber Eats. Today is December the 24th. It's a Wednesday, 2025. December 24th, 2025. It's Christmas Eve. And I am blessed and grateful I got to see another day here in beautiful, sunny Tampa, Florida. And that's on account of God's good grace and God's love that gave me that wake-up call this morning, and I am very fortunate for that. I went to bed being fortunate, blessed, and grateful because of all I have in this world. So I owe God a great debt of gratitude, and I bless Him. I bless God every day for all that I have. I have a nice, clean, dry bed to sleep in the camper every night. I'm enjoying some fantastic weather here in Tampa, Florida. It was over 80 degrees yesterday. This late in December, and it was just a beautiful day. I'm enjoying some wonderful weather. I'm blessed for that. I'm blessed because I have delicious food to eat every day here in Tampa. If I choose to eat that day, I do a lot of fasting, but if I decide to eat, I've got some fantastic food available to me here in Tampa. I've got a fantastic business that I'm building here in Tampa, Florida with my Uber Eats business. That is just doing fantastic. I'm making great money with ease down here in Tampa, Florida. And for my age, I'm over 50 now. For my age, I'm in relatively good health. So I am most definitely blessed for all that I have in this world, and I am grateful for it. And most importantly, I owe God a great debt of gratitude for helping me kick my alcohol addiction. I was a horrible drinker up into my 40s. Well, I was 45. I was up past 46 actually, and I was still drinking. I quit drinking September the 1st of 2022, so I hadn't yet had my 47th birthday. So I was drinking until September 1st of 2022, so that's 3 years and nearly 4 months. It'll be 4 months January 1st that I've quit drinking, and I asked God for help, and I prayed to God, please help me quit drinking alcohol and help me get over this. I would go through periods of time where I could quit drinking for a month or two, but I just went right back to drinking like I was. And finally, I made the good decision to ask God for help, and He came through for me and gave me the strength to quit drinking, and I will not ever drink another drop of alcohol the rest of my life. And my health, just not considering the risk I was putting myself through with drinking and driving, and just overall bad decisions I was making when I was drinking, just my health, just the benefit I've given myself with improving my health from quitting drinking is just, that alone is worth it, quitting drinking. But all the other stuff combined is just the risk I was putting myself under with health and driving and just making bad decisions being an alcoholic. It was costing me money because I was making poor decisions. I was wasting money on alcohol, and just my life has just improved greatly and mentally since quitting drinking alcohol. And if anybody out there is considering stopping drinking alcohol, if you find yourself not able to quit on your own, ask God for help and talk to God about it, and share with God your thoughts on what alcohol has done to you, and what the reasons why you want to quit drinking alcohol. Just the money saving aspect of it is worth quitting drinking alcohol. And if you believe in God and trust in God and know that He is out there looking over you, He will answer your prayers. And it doesn't have to be a formal prayer. You can just talk to God like you're talking to somebody on the phone, talking to a family member or a friend. Talk to God that way. Those are still prayers. And if you ask God for help in getting over your alcohol addiction, drug addiction, smoking, anything like that, a habit that you're trying to break, He will come through for you as long as you believe in Him and trust in Him, like He has come through for me. And that's why I know I am most certainly blessed in this world, and I I will always lean on God when I need him and talk to him about my problems. And I also share with him my blessings. Things I'm thankful for. I do that every day. So, and I encourage you all out there to do the same. God is good. God is great. Always and always. Amen. Well, I'm sitting up here at the Circle K, of course, and I've got my free cup of ice in my Frazzle cup. I think, yeah, there's plenty of room in there for my can. And this morning, I want to wait to open that up. I don't want to open it up yet. This can, I've got a Monster Rehab Revive, Refresh, Recover. I'm going to flip this other light on. It's dark in here for some reason. I got the wild berry flavor this morning. See that? Revive, Refresh, Recover, Rehab. And this can has the date of J2520. And J is the 10th letter of the alphabet. So this can was made October the 20th of this year. So with this being the 24th, this can is 2 months and 4 days old. So it's one of the more fresh cans I've had recently. And I've got just enough cans in the camper to get me through the end of the year. December 31st. It's coming quick. Just about a week left of the 2025. Oh, that's good. That's a good. The green tea is still my favorite flavor, but the wild berry is very good too. But I still got to say the green tea is my favorite. I do have a straw. I should use that. I restocked up on straws yesterday. I think it was a Steak and Shake. Can't recall. I've already topped off my tank. I definitely should have waited to buy gas this morning. I paid $3.11 per gallon at the Circle K near the camper where I sleep at night. And up here, the gas price at this Circle K is, if you pay cash, it's $2.62. It's $2.72 if you pay by credit or debit, but cash, it's $2.62. And that's still cheaper than yesterday. Gas prices have went down at least, well, I know they've went down 4 days in a row. Sunday, it was at $2.71 here. Monday, $2.68. Tuesday, $2.65. And this morning, like I said, it's $2.62. So gas prices have, and I'm pretty sure it was even cheaper Saturday. So nearly a week, for the last 7 days, I'm going to say, gas prices went down at the Circle K consecutively, 7 days in a row now at least. And Gas Buddy is showing that the Florida state average has went down since Sunday continually. Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, the Florida state average prices went down. It's now at $2.80 in Florida. So this Circle K is better than the Florida state average by over 18 cents. And AAA is showing that the national price of gas has remained unchanged since Monday morning. It was $2.85 Monday morning, and it's still $2.85 nationally. So this Circle K is better than the national price of gas by over 23 cents. I also got onto the Powerball website. Tonight is the next Powerball drawing. And according to the Powerball website, the jackpot tonight is $1.7 billion before taxes. So I did get my ticket. I bought it last night, I think. Yeah, I bought this at 7:06 last night, the 23rd. See? And I played my normal numbers of 14, 22, 25, 37, 49, and the Powerball 23. So I'm all set for tonight. I don't think it'll get hit. I don't see it getting hit tonight. I think it's going to get hit next on Saturday, which would be, well, Christmas is the 25th, so the 27th. I think it's going to get hit next on the 27th, Saturday the 27th of December. But we'll have to wait. Well, I'll know better, of course, tomorrow morning. I checked out my other Reddits, my Uber Eats, Reddit, and Google. I know my Reddit score is going to improve, but I won't see that until tomorrow. I just posted an offer that Uber Eats sent me through the app that I rejected. I didn't take it. I didn't even consider it. It was a $2 even offer for driving 3.7 miles, 3 point something miles, and it was only going to take me about 15 minutes. No, I take that back. It was going to take me 20 minutes because I figured out it was going to pay me $6 an hour. I don't understand why those offers even come through the app. Who in their right mind, even if it took me 10 minutes to deliver, it would have paid me $8 an hour, and I would have burned out about, I figured it out, I would have burned out about 40 to 50 cents of gas driving there, delivering the food. So I would have gotten about $1.50 after gas, after expenses. I would have got about $1.50, and it would have paid me $4.50 an hour. Who in their right mind is going to take an offer like that? Even if I was already out on a delivery and I was going to make that a double, it wouldn't have paid me to take it. So I don't know why those offers even get past, the algorithm or whatever, the filter, whatever. I'm assuming there's a filter that Uber Eats uses to decide what offers get sent out. Maybe they don't use a filter, and that's why those offers are getting sent out. But in any event, I took a screenshot of that offer and I blocked out the customer's street. The customer's address is not on there, but their street is. And I took a sticker, one of those stickers that you can put over. I always use a dollar bill to cover up anything I want to cover up from the customer's information. Well, I used a dollar bill sticker and I covered up their street name on there, but I left everything else on there. It was a Wawa gas station offer. And I posted that this morning, so I won't see any results from that until about 24 hours later is a good time frame to wait to see what kind of results you get from Reddit posts like that. But my karma, my post, and my views should all increase. I should see changes in that tomorrow when I check it. So I didn't bother even really looking at my Reddit scores. I'm assuming I'm still at 1056 karma, 365 comments, and 83 posts. But tomorrow, assuming nothing's on a 24-hour hold, I should see all those numbers improve tomorrow morning. And my Google contributions are all the same. I'm still at 1706 contributions, 750 pictures I've uploaded. I'm still showing I have 3.1 million views. I'm just going to quote it like that. Now that I'm up over 3 million, I'm just going to say 3.1 or 3.2. I'm still at 3.1 views of all the pictures I've uploaded, and my points are still at 94.28. But my Uber Eats scores have improved from yesterday. It looks like I had I had two people give me reviews yesterday. I had one of my metrics changed by 2, and all the other 4 improved by 1. I'm still a diamond driver, and unless I improve my acceptance score today and get it back up over 70, I'm going to be losing my diamond driver status. That's one of the thresholds that earn you a diamond driver status. You have to have at least 70% acceptance, and I'm at 64 now as a result of Tuesday's business, the 23rd of December. I dropped back down below 70. My on-time score got worse yesterday, and it's gotten worse for 2 days in a row now. I was at 88% Monday as a result of Sunday's business. Yesterday I was at 87, and now I'm at 85. So I'm continually to get worse. I'm still above my 80% goal, but I need to watch that because 2 or 3 days from now, if I continue this trend, I'll be back down below where I want to be. My Deliver with Care improved by 1. I had one person give me an upvote on my Deliver with Care metric. I'm at 578. I had one person say I delivered with a friendly service. I have 520 upvotes there now. That's an improvement of 1 from yesterday. I had 2 people say I was quick and efficient. I have 511 upvotes there. I have nobody said I was a good communicator, and one person said I delivered with a perfect handoff. If I had to guess who gave me 2 upvotes, I would guess it was the Taco Bell customer. It was one of my late deliveries. My penmanship remained fairly good all day. It wasn't the best, but I can make out everything I wrote out, so I had good penmanship yesterday while I'm thinking of it. It was the last customer of the day. It was a double. It was a Taco Bell and Wendy's double. And I get to the Taco Bell, and normally these Taco Bells, or even the lobbies, are open all night. Well, this lobby was closed. I couldn't get in there, and they had a note on their door that they were short-staffed. And because they were short-staffed, they were operating their drive-up window, even for DoorDash drivers, they said. DoorDash and Uber Eats. So I looked at the drive-thru, and they were backed up. They had at least 10 cars in their drive-up, which is a lot for a Taco Bell. So I messaged my customer right away. I said, "Hey, I'm gonna be at this Taco Bell for a little while because their lobby is closed because they're short-staffed." And she messaged me right away. She said, "Oh, no worries. Take your time, Charles, and be careful driving." She mentioned I like it when customers mention my name in their text messages back to me. She mentioned my name. So I think she liked my communication and that I was informing her on the status of her order, and I informed her through text message when I was on my way there and I was leaving the Taco Bell. So I think she liked my good communication skills and my overall service, and that's why I think she was the one that gave me 2 thumbs up on all those 5 metrics. And she also gave me an additional $5 tip when I got there. On top of, it was a double. I made $3.19 on that double, and she gave me an additional $5. So altogether, I actually made $13.62 on that double. So that just goes to show, if you make the effort, and just if you're out there and you're delivering anything that comes up with a customer's order, inform them of that, even if it's going to be a delay of 5 or 6 minutes. Let them know about that. They appreciate that, and it shows them that you care about getting food to their door, as quick as you can. And that's something else I need to work on. I used to, when I first got here in Tampa, I was encouraging all my customers to give me a review, and said, I would put it in different ways. I said, "Hey, please give me a review. I like getting feedback." And another one, I might say, "Hey, I would appreciate it if you gave me a thumbs up on my service, and if I didn't give good service, let me know that too. I'm doing my best out here." I would phrase it in different ways with different customers, and that was really paying off. Sometimes I would get as many as 20 or 25 upvotes between the 5 metrics. I might get 3 people say I delivered with care, and then 5 people might say I was quick and efficient. I was getting much better responses through the app when I first got down here to Tampa. So I need to consider encouraging and reminding more people about that part of the app. I don't think a lot of people don't even realize that that's there, and they just kind of skip over it when they're closing out their order and they've received their food. It might be the circumstance where people don't even realize that that's even there, I did manage to check the weather for today. I went on to the 2 YouTube pages that I look at for weather, and I checked out weather-atlas.com for today's weather here in Tampa. And I also asked Meta AI. Now, according to weather-atlas.com, which has proven to be a very good resource for checking out your weather, if you're interested in an accurate forecast, a detailed forecast, and one that is consistent over time, I highly suggest that you check out weather-atlas.com for wherever you live in the United States. You can type in your city, your zip code, and it will give you a very detailed forecast. It'll tell you the time, and it'll also tell you the time that you can expect the sun to rise and the sun to set every day in your city. So it's a very good resource for the weather, and it gives a very good 7-day forecast too that is reliable. It's proven to be reliable. I've checked it out over time, and I find no fault in anything that it says on there. But with the time right now being 4:11 a.m. in Tampa, Florida, weatheratlas.com says the sun will rise at 7:17. So that's 3 hours and 6 minutes until the sun comes up here in Tampa, Florida. And according to weather-atlas.com, the sun will set tonight in Tampa at 5:42 p.m. So today we have 10 hours and 25 minutes of daylight. And according to Paul Delegato, he said this with the summer solstice just being a few days ago, I think it was December the 21st, we're continuing to get more daylight going in towards summer now until we reach the summer solstice. We're going to have more daylight every day of the year going into the summer. So I expect tomorrow or the next day, it might say 10 hours and 26 minutes. I should expect that, because every day we're getting a few extra seconds of daylight here in Tampa, Florida. And also, according to weather-atlas.com, it said we can expect sunny skies and sunny and pleasant visibility. Wednesday, December 24th, it said sunny skies and pleasant visibility are expected. The temperature is expected to swing from a high of 81 degrees to a refreshing 57 degrees here in Tampa. These highs and lows are warmer than temperatures typically are in Tampa in December, and are more representative of November temperatures. So right now, I can't expect, if I'm still here in December of next year, I can't expect this warm of temperatures this late into the year. We're trending warmer, and honestly, the Midwest and the Ohio Valley is seeing much warmer weather than it typically sees because of this there's a high pressure dome over a large part of the southern United States and going into the north there. That's why we're seeing warmer temperatures, and it's going to be much warmer here Christmas Day than it typically is. They're still calling for 80-degree temperatures tomorrow and through the end of the year here in Tampa, Florida. So it's just fantastic, beautiful, sunny weather here in Tampa, Florida right now, and I'm just loving it. I also asked Meta AI, the Google Assistant I have on my phone. It's like a chat bot, but it's linked up to the internet, and it uses all different sources it uses all kinds of different resources from the web, from Wikipedia, Google, news outlets. Depending on the question I ask it, I've checked out. It always tells you what source it's using, and it uses all sorts of different resources. Unlike Gemini, which is what another it's another robot that I have on my phone, but it's called Gemini. I don't care for that because I've asked it multiple different types of questions about the weather, the news, music. I've asked it all sorts of different questions, and it seems to have only a few different types of resources that it pulls information from, and I don't care for that. So I don't use Gemini anymore for any kind of things I'm researching. Regardless of what it is, I don't use Gemini. I can't get it off my phone either. I've deactivated it, or I've disabled it, but it's still on my phone, and sometimes it still pops up on my phone, even though I've disabled it. If I swipe my phone in a certain way, like I brush my finger up on my phone to wake it up, sometimes that wakes up Gemini, and I don't like that, but I can't get it all. I can't disable it. I can disable it, but I can't. What do you want to call it? I can't trash it. I can't throw it in the trash for whatever reason. It won't allow me to. But if I could, I would. But Meta AI said December 21st, Tampa is looking nice. Expect sunny skies with a high of 81 degrees and a low of 57. Winds will be gently blowing at 5 to 10 miles an hour from the northeast. there is only a 10% chance of precipitation. So it's shaping up to be a great day in Tampa. So we're going to have another great day of weather here in Tampa, according to Meta AI and weatheratlas.com. And according to meteorologist James Gregorio on YouTube 10 Tampa Bay, that's the YouTube equivalent of the weather and news that I watch on the smart TV in my camper where I sleep at night. James said the high pressure system that has settled over Florida and a large part of the southern United States will bring much warmer temperatures over the next several days in Florida. Florida will remain unseasonably warm and at least 10 degrees warmer than we should expect to see Florida to be, especially in Tampa Bay, he said. And he also went on to say, he commented on the weather out west in California. California is continuing to get rain. In his words, he said, California is receiving record-breaking rain right now. He didn't say anything about mudslides, but I'm assuming they're having some mudslide issues, because every time Florida gets a lot of rain like this, that's one of the things that California is prone to get is mudslides, which I hate that for that. I hate hearing that about the California. California is very beautiful. It's got its bad qualities. It's run by a Democratic governor, and it's got a lot of Democrats running Florida, and they're ruining the economy and just the overall quality of life in California is poor because of how it's run. But California and the countryside and the state of California is very beautiful. So I hate to hear about all the mudslides and things like that going on in California. And you've got earthquakes out there. But aside from that, I would live in California if it wasn't for the people running it and it being so expensive out there. I would most definitely live out there. You know, I've been there frequently. I lived out in Las Vegas, and I visited California several times. You know, I took buses out there and I drove out there. So it's beautiful. I would love to live there if it wasn't so darn expensive. Rent is so high out there. Other than that, I would love to live out there, even in spite of the earthquakes and mudslides. But anyway, James Gregorio went on to say that this Christmas Day, we're expecting a high of 79 degrees and a cool morning tomorrow morning. He compared the high temperature for Christmas Day today to past Christmases. He said in the Christmas of 2016, the high got up to 86. There was a high of 83 Christmas Day in 1984, and in 1911 there was a high of 83 degrees, and in 2011 there was a high of 82. I don't really understand why he went through all that, but he talked about high temperatures Christmas Day. So I guess just seeing a high of 80 degrees or near 80 degrees is unheard of in Tampa. Maybe that's the point he was making. That's the extent of his forecast. And then Dave Osterberg was on YouTube, Fox 13 Tampa Bay. That's the other YouTube page website I go to find out about the weather. Meteorologist Dave Osterberg was on there. He said Christmas week is just going to be gorgeous. A northeast wind and a high pressure system is keeping Tampa Bay dry and bringing warm temperatures into the central Florida. He said Wednesday we can expect a high of 80 degrees. I need to get a drink. And a low of 60 and sunny skies in Tampa. And then I managed to catch Amy Snyder on the radio on FLZ 93.3. She said Tampa, Florida will be sunny and mild with high of 81 and a low of 62. And it'll be slightly cooler high temperature Christmas Day, she said, We can expect a high of 78 degrees Christmas Day and a low of 60 going into Friday morning. And like I said, I had a fantastic day yesterday. I enjoyed some beautiful weather, and I had great earnings on the Uber Eats app. Tuesday, this 23rd of December, had a fantastic day there. Last week, the last week of the year typically is very good, except for New Year's Eve can be kind of tricky. I did very well out in Vegas, but typically New Year's Eve is not a good day to deliver with the app. I plan on delivering New Year's Eve here in Tampa, Florida. I did great out in Vegas, but Christmas I've delivered New Year's Eve in Columbus for a few years, and I never did good out in Columbus, but I did good out in Vegas. I anticipate doing well out here in Tampa. I'll know better, of course, in the coming days. I can pretty much judge how it's going to be. I'll have an idea as it gets near Christmas or New Year's Eve. I'll have a better idea, but I think I'll do all right out here. This week, Christmas week usually isn't good on the app, but I'm continuing to do good here even Christmas week. So I think New Year's Eve will be the same. My first delivery of the day yesterday was to a Wawa. Annie wanted Wawa on Bears Avenue. Annie tipped me $3.20 on the app. I appreciate that, Annie. And I made $7.05. So with her fare being $3.85, I appreciate you, Annie, for the $3.20 tip. And then after that, I had a Courier Saver. That Courier Saver paid me $8.21. It didn't start off being $8. I didn't think I had a wait, but the app sent me a note. The offer started off being $6 something. I think it was $6.89 or $6.99. It was close to $7, but after I completed the Courier Saver delivery, it said I had to wait. I had to wait on the customer. I don't think I did, but it increased my wages on that. So for whatever reason, I don't know what triggered that. I didn't have a wait at all. I texted the customer that I had arrived in her apartment complex, and I drove up to where the pin was, and apparently the pin drop was incorrect because she said, "You just passed me," and I backed up. I backed up to her. I saw where she was, in my rearview mirror. I backed up to her. Maybe it was something to do with the texting that I was doing with the customer, and the app assumed I had to wait, but that was not my intention to incur a better wage to imply that I had to wait. So I don't know what triggered that. It wasn't my intention to make the app think I had waited. So, but I did. I made $8.21 there. And then my third trip of the day was a McDonald's order. Mo wanted McDonald's on Bush Boulevard. Mo's fare was $2, and he tipped me $2.67. I appreciate that $2 tip, Mo, and I appreciate the Courier Saver business. Thank you for that. After Mo dropping off Mo's order, I went on to pick up food for Maria. Maria wanted Chick-fil-A on Fowler. Maria's fare was $3.50, and Maria tipped me $4.06. I made $7.56 on that delivery. Thank you, Maria, for that $4 tip. I appreciate you. And then trip number 5 was for Tammy. Tammy wanted El Jefe Cafe on Bush Boulevard. Tammy's fare was $3.06, and she tipped me $3. So I made $6.06 on that delivery. Thank you, Tammy, for the $3 tip. After Tammy's order, I went on to pick up McDonald's for John. John wanted McDonald's on 56. His fare was $3.18, and he tipped me $1.42. Thank you for the $1.42 tip, John. I made $4.60 on that delivery. And then trip number 7 was a double. Tucker wanted Subway on Hillsborough, and Gaylord wanted Shamrock Shamrock Ale House on Temple Terrace. That wasn't his name. I made up that name. It was a very unusual name that was similar to Gaylord, so I changed it a little bit to Gaylord. Gaylord and Tucker tipped me $11.84. That was a very generous tip for those orders. I appreciate you. And it was a very simple double to do. Those two, Gaylord and Tucker lived very close together, so I had no problems doing that double, and it was simple to do. So I appreciate that generous tip of $11, Gaylord and Tucker. Thank you. After dropping off Gaylord's order, I went on to pick up food for Cassie from the Starbucks on Martin Luther King Boulevard. Cassie tipped me $2.62, and her fare was $2.95, so made $5.57 on that order. Thank you, Cassie, for the $2 tip. After that, I went on my 9th delivery for Yanni. Yanni wanted Starbucks on Martin Luther King. Yanni gave me a generous tip of $8.94. Thank you for the $8 tip, Yanni. I appreciate that. I made $10.94 on that trip. And then I went on my 10th delivery, was for Kate. Kate wanted Martha Family Restaurant on US Highway 92. Kate tipped me $5.87, and I made a fare of $2.46, so I made $8.33 on that delivery. Thank you, Kate, for the $5 tip. I appreciate that. I appreciate the business. And then my 11th trip was for Joe. Joe also wanted Martha Family Restaurant. I went right back to the same place again on US Highway 92. Joe tipped me $4.71, so I made $6.71 on that trip. The fare was $2. Thank you, Joe, for the $4 tip. And then it looks like I had a triple. Number 12 was a triple for Haley, Robert, and Darlene. Darlene wanted Heim's Breakfast House on Brandon. Robert wanted Smoothie King on Brandon Boulevard, and Haley wanted Taco Bell on Bloomingdale. Altogether, they tipped me $8.83, and their fare was $7.95, so I made $15.88 on that delivery. I was about to say that was my best paying one of the day, but it wasn't. It looks like this double. The next one was, trip number 14 was my best paying trip of the day, $19.88. But thank you, Haley, Robert, and Darlene, for the $8 tip. I appreciate that. And then after dropping off Haley's food, I went on to my 13th trip, was for Brittany. Brittany wanted Showtown Bar and Grill on Highway 41. Brittany tipped me $5, and her fare was $2, so I made $7 on that trip. Thank you, Brittany, for the business and the $5 tip. I appreciate that. And then I went on my best paying trip of the day, number 14. Heather wanted Selfie subs on Highway 301, and Carmen wanted Firehouse subs on Highway 301. They tipped me $14.73, and their fare was $5.15, so I made $19.88 on that double. I appreciate the business and the tips, Heather and Carmen. Thank you for your generosity and kindness. And then trip number 15 was a double. Antoine wanted Tropical Smoothie Cafe on Highway 301, and Beth wanted McAllister Deli on Theater Drive. Beth and Antoine tipped me $9.21, and their fare was $4, so I made $13.21 on there. Thank you, Beth and Antoine, for the business and the tips. I appreciate that. And then I went on to my 16th trip, was for Beth. I didn't make a note of this, but I remember I think that was the only Pizza Hut I went to, so it had to have been this one. I almost didn't get this delivery made. I would have missed out on making $7.31. I get there. I said Beth, but it was Betty. It looked like I wrote Betty, and it looked like Beth, but I know her name was Betty. I get there, and there weren't any orders to be picked up. I 9 times out of 10, Pizza Hut always has their orders ready because they're well staffed and they run a good business generally. All the Pizza Huts I've been into run a good business. There weren't any orders to pick up there, so I was concerned right off the bat when I get there. So, well, I get in there and there's no one waiting in line, so I walk right up and I asked the guy, I said, I'm here to pick up Betty's order. And he said, you're not here to pick up Melissa's order. And I said, no, I'm not here to pick up Melissa's order. I need Betty's order. And he said, well, someone already came to pick up Betty's order, you know. And I said, I don't see how that can be. I've got it on my phone here. And I showed him. And he turned to the other lady working there, the manager. He said, didn't we just give out Betty's order? He said her name again. And she said, no, you told me Melissa. He said, that was Melissa's order. So they started arguing back and forth whether it was Melissa's order or Betty's order they handed out. And they went back into the room, and I heard them saying Melissa and Betty a few times back and forth. Well, I gathered from what I could hear them saying and from the interaction I was having from him, I figured out what had happened. A customer, I don't know if it was a customer or a delivery driver, came in asking, they needed to pick up Melissa's order, but they handed out Betty's order, my customer's order, to that delivery driver, whether it was a customer or a delivery driver. They gave out my order to another person. And I didn't see it there, but apparently there was an order there. It was in the back part of the store where they didn't have it out on the warming rack that they normally have it on. Well, I say it all I have to say. I had to wait to pick up Betty's order. They had to remake it because they gave it out to somebody else. Fortunately, part of the order, Betty ordered garlic cheesy bread, a large make your own or build your own roasted ham and cheese pizza, and then she had 2 Pepsis and a Starry drink. Well, part of Melissa's order was the same as part of Betty's order, so they didn't have to remake the garlic cheesy sticks or whatever they are, but they had to remake the pizza. And I had to wait on that. Well, I communicated that to my customer, and it must have paid off. My letting my customer know that paid off because Betty increased my tip. She was originally going to tip me $4.65. Well, she increased my tip by $3, so I actually made $10.31 on that trip. And she said she appreciated the communication and let her know that it was going to be a little bit of a wait. And when I got up to her door, I explained to the customer, I said, hey, your pizza got stolen. I didn't tell her it got stolen. I said, your pizza got handed out to the wrong person, you know, and so this is a more fresh pizza than you would have gotten, and she appreciated that too. So she increased my tip by $3 more. So I wrote down here that I made $7.31, but I actually made $10.31 on that order. I didn't fix my math on there, but she increased my tip by $3 more. So I need to make a note of that. I actually made $10.31 there. And then after dropping off Betty's order, I went on a double. Number 17 was a double. Julia and Gabby. Julia wanted McDonald's on Gibsonton Road, and Gabby wanted Starbucks on Gibsonton. Gabby and Julia tipped me $9.22. Thank you for the $9 tip, Julia, and thank you for the $7.65 tip, Betty, for your Pizza Hut order. I appreciate the 3 of you. I made $13.22 on that McDonald's and Starbucks double. And then after dropping off Gabby's Starbucks order, I went on to my 18th trip, was for Velma. Velma wanted New Far East restaurant on 78th. Velma tipped me $4.34 and her fare was $3.73, so I made $8.07 on that trip. Thank you, Velma, for the $4 tip. And then I went on my 19th trip, was Acropolis Greek Tavern on 7th for Nash. Nash tipped me $3.33 and his fare was $2, so I made $5.33. Thank you, Nash, for the $3 tip. And then trip number 20 was a single for Yosef. Yosef wanted, no, that's not it. It was Adam. Adam wanted Olive Tree by Chef Yosef. Adam tipped me, gave me a very generous tip of $13.84, and his fare was $2.15, so I made $15.99. Thank you, Adam, for the very generous tip of $13.84. I appreciate you, and I appreciate the business. And then trip number 21 was a double. Heaven wanted, this was that order that the person gave me an additional $5 cash tip at the end for me let her know that I was going to be delayed at the Taco Bell because the lobby was closed. Heaven tipped me an additional $5 on top of the already good tip of $3.19 I was making for that double. So actually I made a tip of $8.19, and I made $13.62 on that. Heaven wanted Taco Bell on State Road 54, and Jolene wanted Wendy's on Island Boulevard, E-I-L-A-N-D Boulevard. That was my last trip of the day, was a double. Well, I'm continuing to consider what cars to buy. I'm still heavily leaning into buying a Toyota Camry. What I'm considering now is where to go to here in Tampa Bay to buy my new pre-owned car. It doesn't necessarily have to be a Toyota dealership. I've been hearing on the radio this place called Bartow Ford, B-A-R-T-O-W Ford. I looked into them, and they've got a great Google rating. They've got a 4.8 Google rating, and I've read some of the reviews. They've got some very glowing, high praise reviews on Google. A few people have made some negative comments about them, but the majority of the comments are very favorable, high praise of the service that people have received at Bartow Ford in terms of repairs that have been done at the shop, the service, the sales service, and just overall experience that people have gotten there at Bartow Ford. So I'm going to consider doing my first or second test drive on a vehicle that I want to buy from. I'm going to go to, I think his name's James, but I know it's Bartow. I think it's James Bartow Ford. I'm going to check them out, and I'm going to see what other dealerships are here that have high ratings. But that's at least another thing that I'm going to make sure I'm going to a place here in Florida, in Tampa, that has good Google ratings, And I'm going to compare and contrast the different comments that people have made about the different dealerships. I'm going to use that as one of my judgments and decisions in places to buy my new car here in Florida. I'm not going to go to... I might even consider going to like a buy here, pay here place. If I can find a car that runs good, that has low miles and has decent gas mileage, and I can see I don't necessarily have to go to a car dealership. I can go to a smaller, for lack of a better word, mom and pop car dealership. It doesn't have to be a great big place, I would consider buying a car from a smaller outfit if I can find what I want, and it's a good value. I don't necessarily have a preference in mind of where I buy my car from. I bought a Ford Ranger from a dealership that didn't give me good service. So you can't assume that a big outfit is going to give you good service after your sale, So it doesn't necessarily, I don't necessarily have to buy my car from a great big dealership. It can be a smaller place. That's where I'm thinking, right? That's my mindset right now. Well, I'm going to get off here and get on with my day. I want to wish you all well and hope you're having a great week like I am. God bless you all, and I will talk to you soon. Bye for now.